The following contest is an elimination match and is for the WWE Women's Championship.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Saturday night's main event. This is the very first installment here in the series, and what a better way to honestly kick us off tonight than have a triple threat elimination women's championship match. As there is Naomi. She was a part of a special guest referee matchup just last night on Friday Night SmackDown. It came down to obviously Rhea and Tiffany. They were going at it in the middle of the matchup, and then all of a sudden Naomi would go on to attack Tiffany Stratton in the middle of that matchup. And then eventually Naomi would kind of be taken out inadvertently in this situation. But then Rhea Ripley, Tiffany Stratton would go at it. Tiffany would get the upper hand, and it looked like Tiffany may have, if there's an unbiased referee, Tiffany probably could have won that, maybe. But Naomi ended the match saying Naomi was the winner. I'm believing it was a disqualification of sorts, but Naomi ruled Rhea Ripley the winner of last night's festivities. And now tonight, Naomi will be challenging for the Women's Championship in this triple threat elimination matchup. And this is a different look that we've gotten from Naomi with the caution tape and everything. I'm very curious where kind of all this is going to be with this caution tape and all this other stuff. But, certainly when you take on someone like Naomi, you do got to caution. Because certainly, she's one of the better women's wrestlers on this roster today. But first time ever, like we mentioned, for Saturday night's main event, a lot going on. As here is another challenger in this women's championship matchup. Tiffany Stratton is here. She is live and very well could be walking out the new women's champion. She got drafted from NXT to Friday Night SmackDown, coming out of WrestleMania. We'll see if she already gets her first championship coming out of WrestleMania. Stratton did pretty well there in NXT. She's certainly not making any any partners or friendships here on Friday Night SmackDown, to say the least, and she felt the effect of Naomi. But you got to give kudos to Tiffany Stratton in that matchup last night. She got herself back in that matchup against Rhea Ripley, and like I mentioned before, very well could have maybe won that matchup if there wasn't a normal referee in that matchup. And now we wait for the women's champion. Brutality is live. She is here. Rhea Bloody Ripley. And in this championship matchup, this is not a normal triple threat matchup. This is a triple threat elimination matchup. So you don't have to break up every pinfall or submission attempt. There might be moments in this matchup where you just let the other superstars go at it, eliminate each other, or at least try to eliminate one of each other, and then you go at it with the other person. So different strategies for different women in this type of matchup. But certainly it does not favor Rhea Ripley here tonight, but I think Rhea Ripley's okay with that. She's going to fight until the very end of this matchup. And certainly she has to, in this elimination matchup, you have to get eliminated. It's not like that normal triple threat matchup where you don't get pinned or submitted. You could still lose the match. You have to for sure get eliminated to not get the championship tonight. So it puts more pressure on Rhea Ripley, I would say, just in the terms of you got to play it smart at times. Because, wrong place, wrong time in the matchup, you get eliminated by Naomi or Tiffany Stratton, and then, you're without a championship. So very curious to see how this is going to pan out here in just a matter of moments for that women's championship live here tonight for Saturday night's main event. Certainly you get a little bit of everything in this matchup, from Rhea Ripley to Naomi to Tiffany Stratton. different types of styles going into this matchup, but only one of them can walk out with that women's championship. Who do you guys think is going to walk out with that prestigious women's championship? Here we go. Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and the women's champion, Rhea Ripley. Referee has officially rung the bell. Here we go, and Rhea coming right after Tiffany Stratton with that stiff spear. And now, proceed with caution. Miss Naomi coming right out the gate. And now here comes Naomi with the strikes to Tiffany Stratton, picking up right where she left off last night on Friday Night SmackDown. Ooh, those splits aren't going to be feeling too good. I'm sure Naomi is very flexible and works on those maneuvers all the time, but you got to be careful on those type of maneuvers. As now Rhea Ripley just going to try to decimate Tiffany Stratton here, slowly but surely. And tonight we have a handful of matches for you from top to bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 big matches for you from top to bottom. We have championship matches. We have personal rivalries that come to a head tonight. And we'll really see what the future is going to be looking like with some of these champions walking out. And then also, you know, with these rivalries, especially Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre coming up here later on tonight. CM Punk versus Finn Balor. That rivalry's been pretty heated. Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, Extreme Rules matchup later on tonight. And also Wyatt Six versus the Lucha Brothers for the WWE Tag Team Championships, so on and so forth. So, like we mentioned, a lot of stuff going on tonight. And I can't wait to see where the future of WWE lies coming out of this event. As, right from behind, Tiffany Stratton laying out Naomi, but luckily for Naomi, she was able to easily get out of that situation. As now Stratton looking to hit a scoop slam on Rhea. That didn't happen, and oh no! Back suplex on the stick part of the sledgehammer. Man, that is not going to feel good. You're going to feel muscles that you didn't even know about, especially in the back. And Stratton again playing the cowardly game, and she's saying, hey, you're playing on Tiffy time. I don't play on your time. And now Stratton going for a back suplex, and that connects fully on Naomi. Is now Rhea Ripley looking to go to work here on the former NXT Women's Champion. And oh, goodness. And just like that, that's why you got to have eyes behind your head in these situations, ladies and gentlemen. It's not like a normal one-on-one contest. You take out one opponent, you got to believe the other one's going to be coming right behind you. As now Naomi looking to continue to go to work here on the women's champion, and big knee strike right to the head, I should say. As Rhea with an enziguri takes down Tiffy, and now Tiffany Stratton in trouble. Rhea Ripley setting up for something, but rear view from Naomi out of nowhere. Could you imagine? Is Rhea Ripley going to be eliminated? No, 2.5. That was a perfect maneuver there from Naomi, especially out of nowhere, as they sit out powerbomb into the pinfall, but no, just a 1 count. Right place, right time, just not the right result that Naomi was looking for. And now Stratton, she has something in mind here. Let's see what she has in store for Naomi. Just something simple. It looked like, I thought maybe she was going to maybe try to put her away, but maybe it's a little too early to try to do that. They tilt the roll backbreaker. And now Rhea's got a good old-fashioned steel chair here. Hopefully Stratton realizes that, because she might get bonkers. Yes, she does. Big headshot from Rhea. Into the pinfall from Rhea. Is that enough to eliminate Tiffany Stratton? No, it is not. I mean, looking at this matchup, I mean, the women's championship can go several different ways. Do I think Rhea can retain? Yes. But it sure as hell will not be easy, as Naomi connects with a kendo stick shot, multiple kendo stick shots right here to Tiffany. As now Naomi, maybe she was thinking about going high risk there, but she had some different ideas. Looking for that split-legged moonsault, I believe, or whatever you want to call it. Didn't work out in her favor, and now Tiffany is going to look to make her pay, but Naomi realizes she's in trouble. Tiffany may have been thinking about a certain maneuver. As Rhea tosses her out to the outside, now trying to deal with Tiffany Stratton. It's a 2-on-1 situation for Rhea Ripley, having to deal with another rear view out of nowhere. The second one in the matchup to Rhea. 2.5. Rhea stays in the matchup for a little bit longer, as now Naomi with that tailbone maneuver right on the sledgehammer in the pinfall on Tiffany Stratton. 2. No, Stratton kicks out the very last second. Big time maneuver after big time maneuver for Naomi and Tiffany Stratton. But the thing is, for Rhea, she has not really hit any big time maneuvers that I recall. And now Naomi, she's in perfect position, but she misses out. Just trying to pick the spots in this matchup for these women to make sure that they are able to walk out victorious, as a dropkick misses from Tiffany Stratton, moving out of the way of the dropkick for Rhea. And now Stratton turns her into the corner. And now big scoop slam. Oh, goodness. Touching a little bit of that sledgehammer. And now Naomi and Tiffany Stratton will go at it. Exchange some pleasantries, as now Tiffany Stratton with the Alabama slam to Naomi. And then Surgery there from Rhea Ripley. You can feel this match is getting out of hand for some of these women, as now Naomi with these big kicks right to the ribs. Oh, nice reversal from Rhea. Rhea's got to hit something, ladies and gentlemen. She has struggled all night here. And again, another reversal from Rhea. Now Rhea looking for that riptide on Naomi, right on the kendo stick. Surprisingly, not going to go for the pinfall. Now she is. Referee in position. 2. No, Naomi kicks out. And now, wait, Tiffany's trying to eliminate Rhea Ripley very quickly. 1. No, just a 1 count. Rhea Ripley certainly did not want to go down that way. Drop kick there from Tiffany. Tiffany, I'm going to try to build some momentum. Not going to work out. Looking for a face buster. But Tiffany slips out of it. Ooh, just a grazing kick there. Not enough, but certainly didn't get all of it. Oh, Naomi gets hit with that flying baseball bat, as Tiffany threw that at the face. And now Rhea being tossed right into Naomi. Doubt that was on purpose. And now Naomi with a nice missile drop kick off that springboard. And now here comes Rhea Ripley. Gonna look for a superhuman. Look at this, just with ease. Being able to squat your opponent in the middle of the ring, especially on that sledgehammer. And now Rhea and Tiffany are going to exchange some blows here. Now Stratton halfway across the ring, setting up Naomi here. Swanton bomb to Naomi. Is that enough for the first elimination? 2. No, 2.5. The matchup will continue. The first elimination is nearing. You got to feel, as now Stratton with a BME, the beautiful moonsault. Is that going to be enough? 2, 3. Naomi has been eliminated. And now we are down to 2. The women's champion versus Tiffany Stratton. Kudos to Naomi. She put up one hell of a fight, but Stratton certainly getting some revenge after last night's festivities. And now Stratton may be able to do what she set out to do coming out on that very first SmackDown. Steal the championship, knock off Rhea Ripley, and become women's champion. And now Rhea Ripley, oh goodness, throwing her up in the air. I think she landed close to that kendo stick. That could be the killer blow, but it is not. Last second kick out. And Tiffany Stratton, she's slowly stirring right now. Rhea Ripley could be moments away from retaining that women's championship. Big suplex there. Rhea Ripley maybe getting desperate here with these pinfall opportunities, and it is enough. She realized maybe just a little bit more, and Rhea Ripley has defeated Tiffany Stratton and Naomi. Tiffany Stratton eliminated Naomi, and then Stratton would be eliminated by Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley did not matter in this situation. I know certainly it wasn't a normal triple threat matchup, but hey, the results could have been the exact same. You just never know. But I I like Nick Aldis adding the elimination part of it because it puts more pressure on these women. And there's moments in this matchup, both women, or I should say all three women, could have won this matchup, especially Stratton and Naomi, but it just did not work out in their favor tonight, and Rhea Ripley retains it. And that just shows you how tough this women's division is going to be going into the future, ladies and gentlemen. Stratton, Naomi, Rhea Ripley. You have, so many other women on this roster. I mean, I can't wait to see where this goes. Plenty of stuff to come our way. Bam! That was close. Landed on the kendo stick. She was able to barely kick out, but then a suplex, folding her in half, would lead to the victory. Pardon me, as Rhea Ripley walks out still women's champion for Friday Night SmackDown. It was a hard-fought win, but Rhea Ripley showed you guys why she's on top of her game and on top of Friday Night SmackDown. And now we're on to a match that everyone is really looking forward to, especially myself. Finn Balor, the former WWE Champion, who lost it last week at Backlash, now is in action once again, but this time around a man that he has been focusing on pretty much ever since he won that WWE Championship, and that is Mr. Money in the Bank, best in the world, CM Punk. Now, CM Punk didn't get involved in that championship match that Finn Balor lost to Damian Priest. It was a clear one-on-one. It was a clean loss. Damian Priest won that right down the middle. Congratulations to Damian Priest, by the way. But now, Balor didn't take that too kindly. Punk asked for the matchup because he knew Balor wasn't going to be too happy. He got the matchup, and we're going to see these two go at it here tonight, live at Saturday night's main event. If you want a banger of a matchup, you are certainly getting it here on the first ever edition of Saturday night's main event here in series history. And we're pulling out some big guns here tonight just for you guys to see, especially this matchup. You also got Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre. That matchup is coming up next. Plus we got 3 big women's matches for you in total. We saw Rhea Ripley just retain it, so now 2 more women's matches later on tonight, plus some tag team action, a little bit of everything tonight, but it's a total of 7 big matches. But we'll see if Finn Balor can get maybe quote-unquote some revenge, I guess, that he feels like he was owed, that, obviously he set his eyes on CM Punk too much. It's ultimately on Finn Balor. There's no one else to blame but himself, but obviously he's not going to take accountability, as there is that Money in the Bank briefcase for CM Punk. For CM Punk, question is, when does he decide to cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase? He has up to a year, all the way up to this upcoming year of WrestleMania. But a lot of times these superstars don't like to wait too long. But certainly, CM Punk, he said, hey, I'm in no rush. If I need to wait a couple of months, if I need to wait half a year, if not 9 months, I will gladly do that. He got in the head of Finn Balor so much he lost the championship at Backlash. Now, CM Punk will battle Finn Balor one-on-one here at Saturday night's main event. Big time matchup live here tonight. Who will be walking out victorious? Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Finn Balor, CM Punk. 2 big name superstars in all of WWE, about to have themselves a classic. Maybe in an alternative universe, maybe this happens at an Elimination Chamber. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But certainly big time matchup, like we said here on Friday Night SmackDown. You can feel the intensity there. Oh, come on. There's a cheap shot there from Balor. And he certainly will have plenty of those in this matchup, I believe. Punk is just going to have to be able to weather the storm tonight against Finn Balor. You can tell Finn Balor's all juiced up right now in the terms of, he wants to get his hands on CM Punk. He believes that, he focused too much on CM Punk and that cost him. Which is surprising because Damian Priest and Finn Balor, those are big rivals, but Balor decided to pick and choose CM Punk, who is Mr. Money in the Bank. And I understand where Balor's coming from, setting focus on CM Punk because he's Mr. Money in the Bank. But when you have a challenger, you got to focus on him first. Yes, Punk can cash in anytime, any place, anywhere, but you got to focus on the challenger at hand first. And Balor connects with a nice drop kick to the side of the skull there, Punk. And, oh goodness, nice stiff clothesline as well. And coming out of tonight's Saturday night's main event, ladies and gentlemen, we will for sure know exactly where the path that these superstars are going, as well as what's next for the pay-per-views for Raw and SmackDown, and building up to, obviously, WWE 2K25. This is the very last pay-per-view of, or I should say the last PLE of WWE 2K25. These guys are going to go out with a bang. It's a nice flying knee right to the pectoral muscle, or I should say the pectoral muscle, whatever you want to call it, but still a big-time situation coming out in this event. Obviously, CM Punk will still be Mr. Money in the Bank after this matchup. It's a nice double stomp, turns him inside out, and certainly coming out of that event, there's just so much going to be going on. What's next for Damian Priest? What's next for the Intercontinental Champions here on Friday Night SmackDown? Liv Morgan and Sheamus. What about the Women's Tag Team Champions of Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill? And then same for the Tag Team Champions on Raw and SmackDown. There's so many things that we got to figure out. And, maybe we get those answers tonight. Maybe we don't. And we don't know what exactly it's going to look like. Anaconda Vice from Punk. And look at Balor. He's trying to fight out of it, and he does. And with the rumors of kind of having an updated draft for you guys coming out of this event, there's been rumors swirling about an updated draft for you guys. But we're going to have to wait and see how that really is going to be turning out. Will it change up the storylines that are going from NXT Vengeance Day? Because obviously the partnership between NXT and TNA, what does that change? There's a lot to go on, a lot to figure out. And certainly, will all the general managers stay the same as well? As now Finn Balor. Oh, goodness, what a forearm strike. That was flush on the cheekbone there of CM Punk. But at just a 2.5, the matchup will continue. Nice drop kick there from Finn Balor. He's building up some momentum here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sure Finn Balor would feel great about himself if he's able to knock off CM Punk tonight as a big frog splash, but Punk gets out the way and then connects with I think he was trying to go for an enziguri, I believe. There's now Balor back inside the ring, going to connect with a couple haymakers, or at least attempt to, but Punk right there, and now Punk, looked like Punk may have been trying to set up for maybe a GTS, but Finn Balor's like, nope, I'm going to go back to what I want to do. You're not hitting me with that. It's a coup de grace, misses, and now Punk, CM Punk, here we go, GTS to Finn Balor, pinfall, 1. No, just a 1 count. Referee slow. The referee, I don't remember seeing the referee get hit, so we've seen that a lot recently with a couple of these referees. A little bit slow to the interactions as CM Punk, Macho Man, Randy Savage elbow right across the ring there. And now Punk wants to put Finn Balor down once and for all. And another GTS. Is that going to be it? 1, 2. No, Balor kicks out. Finn Balor keeps himself in the matchup a little bit longer. He won't be going to sleep just yet. But that is a vintage knee that we just saw from Punk. We have not seen that in a long time, though. Because a lot of times, before the setup, the GTS, he would hit that running knee in the corner and then would hit a bulldog, then would lead to a GTS. But CM Punk has been definitely changing up what he wants to do, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. And now Punk with another opportunity, looking to knock off Finn Balor here, and he did it. CM Punk gets the job done here tonight. Is Balor back up to his feet? Balor looking to attack Punk, but now Punk with these big haymakers to Balor, and he takes out Finn Balor. Not only did Balor lose, but he certainly got his butt kicked afterwards. Big win for Punk tonight, live at Saturday night's main event. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for another personal rivalry to come to a head tonight. We just saw CM Punk and Finn Balor go at it, and now it is time for Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns. It seemed like it was a respectable rivalry coming out of that first SmackDown of the new year on 2026 here. We saw on Friday Night SmackDown, it was Damian Priest, Drew McIntyre, and Roman Reigns. They would meet up in a triple threat matchup at on that SmackDown, and obviously Damian Priest would end up walking out victorious, beating Drew McIntyre. He's the one that pinned Drew McIntyre, and Roman Reigns, he said, "Hey, you know what? You didn't pin me," and he believes he should be getting an opportunity, blah blah blah, what it was. And then McIntyre's like, "Hey, you know what? How about me and you battle it out at Saturday night's main event and see who the real top guy on SmackDown is?" Well, they agreed to it, and it seems like it was going to be perfectly fine. But then both sides would start to escalate little by little each week. Drew McIntyre, Roman Reigns, Drew McIntyre again on the most recent edition of Friday Night SmackDown. So all hell has broken loose. A heated rivalry has come to a head tonight, live at Saturday night's main event. And certainly with these two guys, I mean, they're leaving it all on the line. And it seems like that respect has been thrown out the window, especially when you want to be that top guy in WWE. Sometimes you gotta do the uncomfortable things to push yourself in that direction. Drew McIntyre and Roman Reigns, they know each other very, very well in that squared circle. And I'm very curious to see how it's all going to pan out tonight in this matchup. This very well could have been the main event of Saturday night's main event, but it is not. The Women's World Championship is the main event. But this matchup very well is going to feel like a main event match. Can the OTC take down the Scottish Warrior, or will the Scottish Warrior take Roman Reigns to Claymore Country? And on the latest edition of Friday Night SmackDown, Aleister Black took Roman Reigns to the limit. What a match that was. Aleister Black, I feel like he should have won that, but Roman Reigns just became a little bit too much at the end of that matchup and walked out victorious. And for, I would say, about 75% of that matchup, it really felt like Aleister Black dominated that matchup. It just came up with some big maneuvers from Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns walked out victorious. And sometimes you're going to have matches like that, and that's what we saw. But now tonight, Roman is facing off with another beast, a Scottish Warrior to be exact. Two top dogs battling it out here on Saturday night's main event. What better way to do it than here on the very first edition of Saturday night's main event? Everyone here at Saturday night's main event is about to acknowledge their tribal chief, the OTC. He is live tonight and looking to pick up another win in his career, but it sure as hell will not be easy. Reigns, McIntyre, Saturday night's main event about to get underway. And certainly we could see a preview in this matchup of who is next in line possibly for that World Heavyweight Championship. Is it Roman? Is it Drew? Maybe we find out tonight. Here we go, matchup is official. Both men collar elbow tie up here. Feeling out process early on. Roman now going to push back Drew McIntyre. Slow him down as much as possible. An old big cheap shot there from the OTC. Sending a message to Drew. And now Drew's like, hey, I got a message for you, Roman. Well, at least attempted to. Message denied. And now look at Roman. Just choking the life out of Drew McIntyre. Come on. He has up to a 5-second count, ref. Come on now. I know the ref's going to call it down the middle, but there's a couple times you got to call it a little bit even sooner, I would say. Now Roman Reigns building up some speed and takes down Drew McIntyre. Oh, look at this power slam, making it look easy. Taking down Drew McIntyre. And a vicious knee early on as well. Roman bringing the fight to the Scottish Warrior. McIntyre's got to wake up here. Roman has really cut off this ring and really just used that one corner for the most part. As now a roll through, but just obviously we probably would have just gotten a 1 count out of that anyway. But now, I was going to say, it was going to go to work. But again, Roman had just been one step ahead of McIntyre this whole entire matchup. And now Roman gets ran right through. But again, like I said, one step ahead as Roman takes down McIntyre. Uh-oh. Good for maybe a Superman punch already. Well, maybe not. As Roman Reigns looking to go high risk here. Roman Reigns flying. Clothesline takes down McIntyre. Back and forth we go. But Roman Reigns again, man, just one step ahead. And he's definitely getting in the head of Drew McIntyre for sure. I mean, McIntyre with a nice reversal, but, you know, it has been all the Tribal Chief has... Oh, wait a minute. McIntyre. Oh, wait, did he connect with the Superman punch? No, I think both men missed out. I think one was going for a Claymore. The other one was going for a Superman punch. Did not work out in their favor. There's now Roman Reigns beating down McIntyre. And we haven't seen this maneuver in quite some time as Roman Reigns with a good old-fashioned drive-by right to McIntyre. That could be the knockout blow. And now Reigns going to go high risk, setting up McIntyre. Big time flying shoulder tackle. Man, McIntyre's going to be feeling that one for sure. Been a good showing by the OTC in this matchup. Uh-oh, could be even a better showing here as Roman Reigns spear to Drew McIntyre, but I don't think he got enough of it because he was so close to Drew McIntyre. It was more of a lunge, but no, McIntyre barely kicking out of that. I think McIntyre doesn't get out of that if he was a little bit closer, I would say, or farther away. Reigns is stomping away right there in the throat area. McIntyre's got to get out of something quickly. He's going to be able to change the game here very quickly, you believe. So into the corner you go. Roman Reigns looking to put him on the top rope, but McIntyre gets himself out of it. Into it. Oh, thought it was going to be a shoulder bump takedown, but Roman trips him down. And now Reigns with a nice frog splash to the ribs. Now Reigns will look to go ahead here. Spear! Another spear! This time around he got more velocity on it. Is that enough? No, McIntyre kicks out. McIntyre doing the right thing, rolling out of the ring. He has not been able to get much of anything going in this matchup, as it is big haymakers there from Reigns. And maybe McIntyre can hit a Claymore or something out of nowhere, but right now, this has been feels like a one-sided matchup, as now McIntyre in trouble with a submission hold here at ringside. Referee did start his count, at 2. I can't tell if he was tapping or not, but Reigns lets go of it. And obviously, if he taps out at ringside, it's not really going to matter. Yes, it does damage to him, but the match will not stop. Reigns just seems like he's been more aggressive today. Referee now at a 5 here, and Reigns doesn't seem like he really cares. Oh, and a big boot takes down McIntyre. Now we are at a 6. And now, oh, vicious headbutt there from McIntyre. And now McIntyre gets Roman Reigns back inside of the ring. Let's see what McIntyre can do here. Big strikes here from the big man into a big clothesline. That blood just dripping down the forehead there. And now McIntyre looking for some good old-fashioned Claymore country, and he hits it. But then seconds later, both men back to their feet. Strike after strike. And McIntyre punching Reigns. And look at Reigns. He's like, screw this. Screw this. McIntyre can't believe it. Is this match over with? It looks like Reigns wants to be done with this matchup. He just got hit with a Claymore, and those guys were just striking, and McIntyre's not going to allow him to end it as he's bringing him back into the ring here. McIntyre's not going to allow Roman Reigns to just run away when it gets hard. And now, wait a minute, McIntyre submission hold here, center of that ring. Can Roman get out of it? Yes, he does. Or at least momentarily, now he does. And oh, looking for that Glasgow kiss did not work out in his favor, and look at that. Big reversal from Big Drew McIntyre. That is certainly what McIntyre needed. Big headbutt once again. We'll see if this is enough to keep Roman down. Ooh, very close. And right now, Drew has the momentum right now. He's got to keep it up here. And now high risk from the second rope. Oh, goodness, what a blow. And I think Roman Reigns is busted open. Yes, he is. Right above the right elbow there. And now McIntyre looking for another Claymore that he hit moments ago. But this time around, Roman saw it coming because he was face to face with it a second time around. And now Roman looking to beat down McIntyre again. And now Roman going to the well one more time, looking for another spear. Spear to Drew McIntyre. That may be it. Pinfall 1, 2, 3. Winner of tonight's matchup goes to the OTC, Roman Reigns. What a match. Roman was even trying to get the hell out of the matchup after Roman connected with that, or I should say Drew connected with that Claymore, but certainly didn't go the way expected. But what a big win nonetheless, live tonight here on Saturday night's main event.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Women's United States Championship.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the U.S. Championship to be defended, as the challenger Nikki Bella is here tonight to take on Bianca Belair, who is currently holding 2 championships, one being the U.S. Championship and well as one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions. For Nikki Bella, like we mentioned multiple times here, she is the new #1 contender, winning in a 5-woman battle royal. A lot of it former NXT superstars that got drafted over to Monday Night Raw. Nikki Bella was able to outlast 4 others to get this opportunity. And recently on Monday Night Raw, she was in action against the current Women's World Champion, Becky Lynch. And it was a back and forth matchup, but Becky Lynch had that matchup won. So now we'll see if Nikki Bella is able to kind of take that loss with a grain of salt and kind of figure out what she did wrong in that matchup, obviously besides lose, and try to see if she can knock off the current U.S. champion, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair and her tag team partner Jade Cargill missed Money in the Bank on Monday Night Raw. were able to knock off Nia Jax and Lash Legend, the Irresistible Forces, to still be your women's tag team champions. But tonight, it's a whole different ball game. Bianca doesn't have to have Jade at ringside. Bianca goes to work all by herself tonight. And just kind of being able to focus on herself, maybe that's a good thing, maybe it's a bad thing. Obviously, when you get used to being in the tag team division, you get, I wouldn't say complacent, but you get to start to get used to having a partner with you all the time. But now you don't, so now you gotta make sure you're in ring shape enough to make sure this matchup, if it happens to go longer than expected, you can figure it out by the end of the match. And there it is, the prestigious Women's United States Championship. We saw Rhea Ripley retain her Women's Championship earlier on tonight. Will Bianca be able to do the same?
Introducing the challenger from Scottsdale, Arizona, Nikki Bella. And her opponent from Knoxville, Tennessee, the WWE Women's United States Champion and one half of the Women's Tag Team Champions, Bianca Belair.
Who is going to walk out the Women's U.S. Champion? Will it be Nikki Bella, the challenger, or will it be the champion, Bianca Belair? Referee ringing the bell, and both women having the exact same thing, or at least the same idea, by trying to go for a double drop kick. And look at Bianca, especially to try to hit that early on. I mean, you got to make sure you hit that, and obviously she didn't. And now she's getting hit with an STF right now, cross face, but Bianca able to slip out of it with those big elbows. Certainly not the best feeling in the world to get hit with those sharp elbows. It could knock out a tooth, break a nose, or even worse, maybe a concussion. As both the women fighting in the corner there, you can feel the tension there in the corner, especially in a championship match. Obviously, both women want to be champion coming out of Saturday night's main event, especially with the uncertainty of what WWE will be looking like coming out of Saturday night's main event. And now Bianca gets hit with a reversal. Now Nikki Bella back on the offensive. Now Nikki Bella trying to just overpower Bianca Belair. I don't know if that's the best idea, but hey, Nikki Bella has done a lot in her career, ladies and gentlemen, trying to upstage the women's champion, or I should say the women's U.S. champion. I mean, that's one way to do it. And now Nikki from the second rope looking to inflict some more pain, and right there, that big axe handle right to the upper chest area there of Bianca into the pinfall. Will this be enough? No, Bianca having to have a real strong kick out there to keep herself alive in this matchup. No, look at this armbar. Armbar here from Nikki Bella trying to make Bianca tap out. But now Bianca, big strikes there right to the temple of Nikki Bella. Certainly maybe trying to work a submission game tonight. Maybe that could happen. Catching Bianca Belair off guard as a military press. Oh, look at this. She's making this look super easy. And Nikki Bella certainly is not like a featherweight. She's certainly a strong woman in her own right, too. It's just picking up another man or woman just like that and being able to rep it out a couple times there. I mean, that's great to see Bianca to do it. That's why she say she's the strongest, the fastest, so many different catchphrases she has. And now I'm going to work that left leg. Oh, goodness. Trying to take it out of socket. Nikki Bella trying to see what she wants to do here. Takes her time. If I was Nikki, maybe you toss her back inside the ring there. And that elbow certainly will do wonders for her, as now Nikki Bella tosses her back inside the ring. Bianca could be literally on the ropes here. Could have some trouble keeping that women's championship tonight, but a spear out of nowhere from the champion. And now Nikki Bella, gets hit with a tilt-a-whirl slam there. These big strikes from Bianca, but jawbreaker from Nikki Bella, and a jawbreaker from Bianca. Back and forth we go, as Bianca was looking to go with that whip attack, but now both women going to exchange some strikes. Back and forth we go. Who is the better woman in this situation? Here we go. Strike after strike. Blow for blow. And now Bianca gets the upper hand ultimately. Into the pinfall after Nikki Bella got clocked out there. But no, just a 1 count. Nikki Bella is not going down without a fight. And now Bianca looking to work that arm, but no. She meets a forearm strike from Nikki. And now Nikki going to look to work the shoulder, slow it down a little bit. And now, wait a minute. Both women just having answers for each other's maneuvers. But I don't think Nikki Bella is going to have an answer to this, as she gets hit with a K.O.D. Is that the killer blow tonight? Bianca Belair pinfall. 1, 2, no, 2.5. Nikki Bella with a strong kick out. See how much more she has left in the tank. And now I'm going to go for it one more time, ladies and gentlemen. A KOD again into another pinfall. 3. Bianca Belair retains the Women's U.S. Championship. Good back and forth matchup. Nikki Bella tried to keep it very competitive, but Bianca Belair kind of showing you, hey, there's levels to this. And Bianca Belair continues to be above quite a bit of these women on this roster. As right here, this big elbow to the outside, right there to the lower back of Bianca. And then that tilt-a-whirl slam would lead to more and more here. And then Bianca said, time for a good old KOD there. We'll go for the pinfall. Would not be enough of that time. And then she's like, hey, struck out the first time. I'm going to go to the well one more time, but a different variation of a KOD. Bam! A little bit faster, more velocity to it, and that was the knockout blow that gets her the retainment of her U.S. Championship tonight. Congratulations to Bianca Belair. She will be dominating Monday Night Raw still, and still is your double champion. Now we move on, ladies and gentlemen, to your Tag Team Championships on Friday Night SmackDown, as Penta and Rey Fenix will be taking on the Wyatt Six. Penta picked up a big win on Friday Night SmackDown, defeating Dexter Lumis, and now tonight in tag team action with his brother Rey Fenix, a part of the Lucha Brothers. Big time matchup being underway here. I mean, this could very well change the future of the tag team division, especially if the Wyatt Six lose this matchup. This will be the really first tag team matchup the Wyatt Six have had since WrestleMania. Yes, they had that singles matchup last night, but not the same as as the tag team match. We'll see how it fares tonight. And maybe, you could see ring rust, you could see rest in the terms of like they look like completely fresh, they're ready. And then sometimes, when you're not wrestling all the time, maybe you get some ring rust. So we'll see if they're well rested or if they're a little ring rusted. And now, here comes the Wyatt Six. Be curious to see if they bring out the whole crew for this atmosphere tonight. I think it's going to be a very hard-hitting matchup, ladies and gentlemen. Certainly from top to bottom. I think it'll be a completely different matchup than what we saw last night on Friday Night SmackDown, as there is Dexter Lumis, one half of the tag team champions, making his way down to the ring. Man, very, very vicious. I remember back in the day he was a part of the Way of Johnny Gargano, Austin Theory himself, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, and ultimately we wouldn't see Dexter Lumis for a long time, and then come to find out he's part of the Wyatt Six. He found a new family. Right, for Dexter Lumis. He's found that new family, and we'll see how it fares, especially with Uncle Howdy leading the group. Definitely different from Bray Wyatt for sure, but obviously being the brother of Bray Wyatt, certainly they're trying to run it the vision of what Bray Wyatt had under Bo Dallas. So we'll see if this will continue as the World Tag Team or the WWE Tag Team Champions here on SmackDown, or if it will change over to the Lucha Brothers. On the independent scene, the Lucha Brothers were one of the top tag teams, certainly at least from what a lot of people have said, and we'll see how it comes together tonight. And now we wait for his tag team partner to make it down to the ring. Normally they come out as one cohesive unit, but tonight it seems like they're coming out separately, which maybe it's just time to really give them time in these situations so that, Penta and Rey Fenix have to wait even longer. Could be just all about the mind games. Or it could be nothing and they just want to come out separately. I don't know, but tonight there is Joe Gacy making his way down to the ring for this important Tag Team Championship match. Joe Gacy, Eric Rowan, Uncle Howdy, Nikki Cross, that whole group. And you can't forget about Miss Money in the Bank, Alexa Bliss, who is Miss Money in the Bank for the Wyatt Six. And it's been back-to-back years Wyatt Six women have won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Nikki Cross won the championship, and then eventually, obviously, would lose it to Io Sky. But then Alexa Bliss wins it, and the question is, for Nikki Cross, or I guess I should say Alexa Bliss, we haven't seen her since WrestleMania and winning that briefcase. So, is she just taking a brief hiatus? What exactly is she doing? Maybe to look to have her moment and cash in that Money in the Bank briefcase anytime, any place, anywhere. And certainly for the women's champion on Friday Night SmackDown, Rhea Ripley, she's got to be on the lookout, because there's not only plenty of potential with Tiffany and Naomi and Jordynne Grace and all these big-name women's superstars, but you add Alexa Bliss into the picture as well, it could get very uncomfortable for Rhea Ripley very quickly.
The following contest is a tag team match scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 409 pounds and Penta. And their opponents at a combined weight of 479 pounds, the WWE Tag Team Champions, Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy, the Wyatt Six.
Let's see if the Wyatt Six can defend those tag team championships. It seems like they got Eric Rowan as well as Uncle Howdy at ringside. We'll see how this fares as Rey Fenix and Dexter Lumis kick us off. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. Pivotal matchup in the tag team division. First ever tag team men's matchup here on Saturday night's main event for the tag team championships being on the line. So big time moment to showcase what they can bring to the table between the Lucha Bros and the Wyatt Six. And that big time double back body drop takes down Rey Fenix. And now Gacy will look to go to work. And honestly, with the Wyatt Six, they gotta slow down Penta and Rey Fenix. You cannot make this a match where we're all just running around. You just can't do that in this situation. You gotta keep the matchup like certainly like a excuse me, just like a flat field, like just basic. Like a basic matchup, I guess, is what I'm trying to get at. You just can't have these guys flying around, cross bodies, top rope, Spanish flies, everything in between. You got to keep everything grounded. Nice double combination briefly. Lumis with a big punch takes down Phoenix, and now Lumis will get tagged into the ring. As Uncle Howdy, Eric Rowan, Nikki Cross watching on. Certainly, ever since, unfortunately with the passing of Bray Wyatt, the Wyatt Six, they get introduced. And then, they're trying to find that I don't know, that spot here in universe mode where they all can be successful. Obviously Wyatt Six, they got the tag team championships, but Uncle Howdy, he's got to figure out something, I believe. Feels like there's something missing in that group, but maybe more opportunities for Uncle Howdy and company. Maybe you get that, but I don't know. It just feels like there's something missing from that group. Obviously, besides Bray Wyatt, obviously, rest in peace to him. But, it just seems like Uncle Howdy, when he gets those opportunities, it just doesn't really work out in his favor. Now Gacy going to look to go to the top rope district. High risk, high reward situation. Can he connect? Gacy, big time axe handle takes him down. And now Lumis watches on as a pinfall opportunity. Will this be enough? No. Strong kick out at one. And Rey Fenix doing the great thing, rolling out of the ring so that, if something were to happen, these guys will continue this match at ringside. Even if let's say Gacy hits a finishing maneuver, hey, he can't instantly go for the pinfall. And now, wait a minute, looking for a Mexican destroyer, and Gacy right there to break it up. So to come tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we have a massive main event in store for you, as the Women's World Championship is still going to be defended in your main event, as Becky Lynch defends her Women's World Championship in the main event tonight against Charlotte Flair, as well as coming up next, we have an Extreme Rules matchup between Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. And now Phoenix, springboard, drop kick, turns him inside out. And now Rey Fenix could be moments away from pinning the Wyatt Six, but great Gacy with those strikes, but Rey Fenix a little bit faster in that exchange. And Frankensteiner turns him inside out. Into the pinfall. Is that enough? 2. Did he get 2? No. Very close to a 2. And luckily for Gacy, or not luckily for Gacy, he wasn't able to get the tag. And now luckily for Gacy, he's able to connect with a big time maneuver there, big boot. And now Rey Fenix gets the hot tag. Here comes Penta. Gacy dodges out the way, but now both men gonna go at it here, and now Penta showing some agility. Into a sling blade, takes him down. Into the pinfall. Will this be enough? No, just a 1 count. And now Penta, nice leg drop there, connecting the back of the neck of Joe Gacy. Certainly not the best feeling. And now Gacy going to take his time here. As Eric Rowan may be looking to get involved. And just enough of a grazing blow to the head to take out Joe Gacy. Very risky maneuver for Penta. Didn't need to do it, but luckily for him, he grazed enough of Joe Gacy. Is now Penta. Penta looking to go to work here. Penta. Super kick. Kicked his head off. Into the pinfall. Is that enough? 2. No. Yes, it is a 2. Very close. It was a short 2, I guess. And now Penta going to look to finish off Joe Gacy here, possibly. Nope, he's not. Over the top rope he goes. And now Gacy going to set his eyes to Rey Fenix here. Doesn't need to, but he's going to. And now Rey Fenix with a nice, I would probably say, it's the world's strongest slam, but probably the world's smallest slam, I guess. Now Penta waiting for Gacy to get up to his feet. Decides to go outside at ringside. Here comes Penta into another sling blade. And Rey Fenix certainly was taking his time there at ringside, trying to figure out what he wanted to do, but finally back up to the apron. But, ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in right now, you are witnessing the WWE Tag Team Championships from Friday Night SmackDown being defended. And now Penta going to look to go to work. Again, we could be moments away from seeing new Tag Team Champions. Trying to take down the legs there of Gacy, but Gacy, almost like a zombie in that situation, he was just eating those strikes and not really selling it. And now Penta back on the momentum train. And now Gacy with a big reversal. If I'm Gacy, I'd probably get him out of the enemy corner, but Gacy probably does not give a damn as he runs into a big time elbow. And now Penta with a, oh goodness, what a backbreaker. Man, I don't know how Gacy is moving right now. He's trying to get to the corner, but Rey Fenix does not allow that to happen. And Rey Fenix looking to end it here, possibly. Vicious axe handle to the back of the head. And now Fenix, what does Fenix have in store? He is setting up Gacy for something. Go for a power slam, no. Oh goodness. Pile driver right there in the middle of the ring. Is that enough? 2. Oh, so close to becoming the new tag team champions. I'm surprised that pile driver was not enough. Should have been enough, but it was not. Now Gacy again will look to go to work. But if I'm Gacy, maybe I go for the tag. Try to get Dexter Lumis back in this ring. No offense to, Joe Gacy, but he took a vicious pile driver. Certainly not the best thing to try to walk off. Now this is where Gacy can be very dangerous as well. As look at this submission hold here. Rey Fenix, middle of the ring. But luckily his brother able to break it up, and he connects with an enziguri. And Gacy able to roll out of the ring. He's dealing with some issues here. Tough tag team matchup on display. For Rey Fenix now, does he go for the tag? Does he tag his brother Penta? No, he will not. He will look to jump over him, and a big time axe handle to the middle of that back. As this matchup continues, ladies and gentlemen, this is one of those tough contests. It's not your typically, back and forth type of matchup. It's one of those things where it could be one-sided at times. And maybe, especially against a tag team that you don't get to see all the time. It's a nice moonsault there from Rey Fenix. And gonna go to the well one more time. Rey Fenix. Frog splash to Joe Gacy. He got all of it. Pinfall. 1, 2, 3. The Lucha Brothers are the new tag team champions. Not much of a fight tonight for the Wyatt Six here tonight, unfortunately for them. And that was, like we said, pretty one-sided tonight. Big win for Rey Fenix and Penta. And that technically means for Penta, he holds 2 championships. Not only the tag team championships, but now he is still the European champion. What a moment. What a splash from Rey Fenix. And just like that, they are the tag team champions. I cannot wait to see the new reign of Penta and Rey Fenix, a part of the SmackDown Tag Team division. And it's time to get extreme here tonight at Saturday night's main event, as it is time for Kevin Owens versus Chris Jericho. Definitely gotten extreme on the build up to this matchup, but something's got to give tonight. Both men have been busted open by the other, and we've just seen that physical, brutal side of both men. Kevin Owens showed that brutality on the Monday Night Raw Go Home show when he defeated Rey Mysterio. Then after the match, he had the cojones to, he left the ring, which was perfectly fine, and then, he gave a deceitful look back in the middle of the ring. He grabbed a steel chair from underneath the ring, and then he just stomped him with the chair multiple times. I guess stomp wouldn't be the right word, but he hit him with the steel chair multiple times. And Rey Mysterio, he did get taken to the hospital just for his injuries, but we're told that he will make a full recovery. But still, man, it just, those chair shots, man, especially after a tough match like that, that is very brutal. But now we move on to his opponent. This man, Chris Jericho. One of the best to ever do it in the middle of this ring. He was a part of WWE for quite a long time. He left. He was in NXT for a little bit of time, and then he would leave again, and then he is back once again. But he when he came back to NXT, it wasn't like he was back here in WWE. NXT was a whole different entity at that time, because NXT was carrying different superstars on the independents, signing the biggest of biggest names from the likes of Will Ospreay, Jay White, amongst the other big names. Kenny Omega would carry the company, carry NXT for a good amount of time. So you saw those big time superstars in NXT, but it didn't necessarily feel like an NXT. It felt like NXT was just kind of signing these big names, and well, I mean, it wasn't a bad thing, but it certainly had a different feel for sure. As here we go, Kevin Owens, Chris Jericho, one-on-one. Referee ringing the bell, and Owens coming right out of the gate with a vicious DDT. And I'm sure Kevin Owens wanted to send a message to Jericho as well, because Jericho and Rey Mysterio, they've been good friends for a very long time. Both men were in WCW back in the day as well. So certainly they have a lot of respect for each other. So Kevin Owens certainly wanted to send a message as Jericho with a nice springboard missile dropkick. And then a big time kick right to the midsection. And now Jericho gonna look to get extreme. And oh, good old trash can gonna look to take out the trash here tonight. And that being Kevin Owens. Big haymakers here from Kevin Owens, almost like forearm strikes of sorts. And now Owens gonna look for a power bomb. Nope. Actually, we have not seen this in a good while. Gonna look for a vicious neck breaker, I believe. Yes, he is. Oh. I'm sorry, as for Owens, too, you might not turn that into a pinfall attempt. At least try to get a 1 or a 2 out of it. And a big-time suplex on the trash can. That certainly is not going to feel good for Kevin Owens. And now Owens is in agony, as he should be. And now Chris Jericho has the steel chair. Going to look to inflict some pain. And Kevin Owens with a DDT. Folds him in half. What a maneuver from the prize fighter Kevin Owens. And now Owens, big old haymakers here to Jericho. We knew this matchup was going to be very physical. We knew it was going to be brutal. No love lost between both men. And now good old-fashioned striking battle between Jericho and Owens. Who wants it more right now in this matchup? And look at Jericho. He said, do it again. Do it again. Hit me. Back and forth between both men. No damn nation between here. No love between these men. And look at Kevin Owens getting the upper hand. Nice backhand from Jericho, but Owens seems like he has a response for each one. And now both men just inflicting as much pain as possible with these punching galores. Bam! Nice punch from Owens at the very end there. And now Owens has him up, looking for a Samoan drop, I believe. Yes, he does. And now Jericho looking for a package pile bomb, I believe. Down he goes. Now into the pinfall. Is that enough to keep Jericho down? 2. No, 2.5. Very close, though. Kevin Owens, though, he wants to end Jericho right now. Does not want to give him any more opportunities as a stunner takes Jericho down into the pinfall. 2. No, 2.5. Another strong 2.5. And if you're Kevin Owens, you really got to figure out now, what else do I got to do to keep Jericho down? And now Owens, good old-fashioned ladder. And this ain't going to end well, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you this for sure. Someone might be getting powerbombed on that. Big reversal. Jericho was looking for something. Did not work out in his favor. And now Owens, over the top rope. Over the top rope. And now will Jericho capitalize? Big time situation here. But Jericho not going to capitalize on this possible situation. You could jump on top of that, the top rope, and he's choosing not to. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but maybe Jericho doesn't want to put himself in a bad situation as Owens catches him and hits him with a power slam. Probably not the best idea to be walking underneath ladders around here, but hey, you got to do what you got to do, I suppose. Both men trying to figure out what they want to do, especially with that ladder being there. And now a back suplex on the steel chair. Oh my goodness. Especially on that back side of it too. That has no love lost as well. And now Owens with these steel chair shots here to Jericho. Back and forth again. That chair is broken. And now Kevin Owens looking to go high risk here with a swanton bomb, but Jericho moves out the way. But somehow Kevin Owens is still moving. And another stunner. Another stunner pinfall. 2, 3. Owens gets the job done tonight. It was a hard-fought match. But Kevin Owens, the prize fighter, welcomes Chris Jericho back with a loss at Saturday night's main event. It's a vicious DDT, man. That was absolutely brutal. And luckily, Jericho, if Jericho, when he threw him on that ladder, if Jericho puts him through that ladder, or at least attempts to, certainly you got to believe this is game, set, match over. But he attempted not to, and it really just, I would say, screwed him at the end of the day. And so multiple chair shots ends up just ruining that steel chair. Big reversal from Owens, leading in to another stunner. The knockout blow. And Kevin Owens picks up a big win. What is going to be next for the prize fighter coming out of this event? I could only imagine what Owens wants to do.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the WWE Women's World Championship.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is main event time of Saturday night's main event. Charlotte Flair makes her way down to the ring. At WrestleMania, she lost the Women's World Championship that she was holding for a good while. Good, probably half a year, I would say, give or take, when she knocked off Jade Cargill. But for Charlotte Flair, held that till WrestleMania, and then losing it to Becky Lynch in a very competitive matchup. Becky Lynch ends up winning. Then Charlotte Flair would get a rematch on Monday Night Raw, the first Raw of 2026, and well, certainly did not go the way she expected, because Seth Rollins would stomp her in the middle of the match, or I should say before the match started, and then let Becky Lynch pick up the scraps, hit a Beck's bottom, and then it was all she wrote. And we've seen these women go back and forth with championship attacks, attacking from behind. Certainly there is no love between both of these women, and you're going to see it continued tonight in the main event as Charlotte Flair challenges Becky Lynch for the Women's World title. Since Becky Lynch is part of the Vision, certainly going to be interesting to see if she's out here by herself or if she will have company down to the ring with her. Will this be another night where we see Charlotte Flair become Women's World Champion again, or will Becky Lynch use her vision, quote unquote, to become still your Women's Champion? We're about to find out, but this is one of the better matches you're going to see of all tonight, I believe, personally. And here comes the man, Becky Lynch. There's the Women's World Champion, and there's Paul Heyman, the Oracle, and then the Visionary, Seth frickin' Rollins. Of course, you gotta have the husband. Of course, you have to have the Oracle here at ringside. Why not? This is how it all continued, this rivalry, the night after WrestleMania. All due to the help of Seth frickin' Rollins. Now, can Big Time Bex get the job done tonight? Can the man get the job done and continue to be the Women's World Champion? You got to believe this rivalry's got to come to a head eventually. Does it end tonight, or will this continue going into 2026? We will figure that out very soon. But now, it is time for your Women's World Heavyweight Championship to be defended.
Introducing the challenger from the Queen City, Charlotte Flair. And her opponent from Dublin, Ireland, the WWE Women's World Champion, the Becky Lynch.
And here we go, as the referee showing the championship to Charlotte Flair. But it is for that Women's World Championship. Who is going into 2026 even further with the championship? Is it Charlotte? Is it Becky? Let's find out. Bell has been officially rung, and Becky Lynch coming right out the gate, coming right after the challenger. And look at Becky Lynch really trying to send a message to Charlotte Flair, but Charlotte able to easily get out of that submission attempt. You know, this matchup is going to be very physical. I mean, especially if there's obviously disqualification, it goes in the favor of the champion. But, you know, both women are going to use that 5 count very, very loosely. In the terms of when I say that, they're not going to listen to the referee. They're going to push it to that 5-second count. And Charlotte Flair cannot get too frustrated in this matchup, because if she does, you know, obviously with disqualification, or, you know, Becky Lynch might be able to capitalize and walk out still women's champion. As we got a head scissors, into a big elbow as well. And then, another big knee strike right to the temple. Not the best feeling to eat that, especially early on in this matchup. Only just make you dazed and confused, as Charlotte Flair with a submission hold here, but Lynch able to easily get out of that as well. Both these women know each other very, very well, especially throughout the years. There's, you know, they still have that, probably not now, but obviously they got the moniker known as the 4 Horsewomen. Bayley over there in NXT with Lyra Valkyria. Obviously the other 4th Horsewoman is Sasha Banks, who is no longer in the company at the moment. You never know if she'll come back later down the road, but we'll see how that goes. It's a big axe handle right to the middle of that back. As now Charlotte setting up something here for this, as a little bit slower in what she was trying to, almost like a handstand clothesline, a little bit slower than expected, and Becky Lynch able to make her pay for it. And now big time Bex. Here we go. Exploder suplex. And now referee saw something. I'm assuming it was a top turnbuckle exposed. And now Becky Lynch will continue her dominance here and take down Charlotte again. And if I'm Becky Lynch, maybe I start working on the limbs, work on the shoulder area. And as soon as I say that, disarm her here. But luckily Charlotte Flair has long arms. And I was just going to say, work the arms, work the legs, try to set up a submission hold as much as possible and really take Charlotte out of her game so she can't set up her own natural selection, plus her figure 4 branching into a figure 8. Now Becky Lynch, what is she thinking about doing? Big elbow into a spinning back elbow. Spinning back elbow out of nowhere. That honestly could be enough, but Charlotte Flair with a head scissors submission hold, but Lynch gets out of it very, very quickly. Now from behind, nope, Charlotte with her own reversal. Now it's time for some good old natural selection to Becky Lynch. And look at Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman talking to the referee saying, hey, what the hell's going on? Or maybe, no, that's Seth Rollins. Rollins talking to the referee. There's a pinfall, but referee talking to Seth Rollins. Rollins is not too happy that his wife is getting beaten down, and not even a 1 count because of the referee. Becky Lynch keeps herself in this matchup. And Charlotte Flair's all fired up as she should be, not too happy about what just happened here. Back and forth we go. Charlotte Flair catches her. Let's see. Fall away slam. And Becky Lynch could be moments away from losing the championship, and now Paul Heyman getting involved, yelling at Charlotte Flair. Must have saying some very unkind words there. For now, Becky Lynch to try to capitalize. Becky Lynch with a big-time maneuver, and big-time Bex with a cross arm bar. But Charlotte Flair still fighting out of it. And now Charlotte going to have to look to go to work here. Is referee going to see that kendo stick, I believe, or at least attempt to get it out of the way. And now Charlotte going to work that left knee. Could set up for that figure 4 later on in this matchup, or in a matter of moments, you never know. As now Charlotte, oh, big backbreaker. And if you guys are just tuning in, this is the main event of the evening. Jade Cargill certainly got to be in the back watching this matchup. Does she cash in tonight? As Charlotte Flair with a big boot misses, and Becky Lynch with a big reversal. Can Becky Lynch capitalize on this mistake? Big gut wrench slam takes down Charlotte Flair. And now you can feel the momentum starting to shift in the favor, at least briefly there. And now back and forth between both of these women. Lynch, roll through, looking for the disarmer. Here we go. Disarmer. Disarmer applied to Charlotte Flair. Nowhere to go. Will she tap? No. Charlotte gets out of it. And Heyman, referee didn't see it, at least not yet, that top turnbuckle is exposed over there. We'll see if Becky Lynch wants to use that as a nice leg drop. And now, referee now decides to notice it. Then reverse leg drop, but it misses. And now a spear, a stiff spear, nonetheless. And now Becky Lynch rolling at least underneath the apron because she realizes she is in trouble. And now Lynch going to get connected with a drop kick to the outside. We knew this matchup was going to be brutal, but they're definitely exceeding expectations. Charlotte Flair, here we go, trying to get the best angle. Look at that maneuver, flying through the air. She wants that Women's World Championship back, and you got to pull out maneuvers you haven't pulled out of your moveset in quite a long time. What a moment here from Charlotte. Can Charlotte become the new Women's Champion? And look at Seth Rollins. He's getting involved. He's saying, hey, why don't you come over here and deal with me and not my wife? And Charlotte saying some words that Rollins does not like. Into a drop kick. Charlotte has to know that. It's very rare when you're dealing with someone that your opponent won't get back up to their feet. But it's a damn shame. But Becky Lynch is going to look to capitalize here. She throws her right into the side of that table, and then a big takedown there of Charlotte even further. Certainly Rollins and Heyman have done everything in their power tonight to make sure Becky Lynch walks out with that championship. Lynch feeling pretty good for herself. Charlotte stirring up to her feet, looking for that Bex bottom. Bex bottom from Becky Lynch. Is that enough? 1, 2. No, Charlotte Flair kicks out. Becky Lynch cannot believe it. Oh, but a big boot to the face. She can certainly believe that. And now, I think it's some time for some natural selection to Becky Lynch. Is that enough to have ourselves a new champion? No, it is not. 2.5. Both these women putting it all on the line. Who wants the belt more? Who wants the championship more? And now I'm going to really wrench it on both arms here. Oh, my goodness. One of these times, it's really going to take it out of socket, I believe. And now Becky trying to decide what she wants to do. Going to go to the second rope. A little high risk in the stages of this matchup. Will it capitalize? Yes, she will with that nice clothesline. Takes her down. And now Lynch. What does she have in store? What does she have on her mind here? Becky Lynch from behind. Oh, a little variation of the Beck's bottom there. A little different variation we've seen throughout the years. Pinfall. 1, 2, 3. Becky Lynch is still the Women's World Champion. And you can thank Paul Heyman and Seth frickin' Rollins. They weren't here at ringside. Maybe it's a whole different ball game. But damn. Becky Lynch is still the Women's World Champion. No new champions tonight, especially when it comes to that. Besides the Tag Team Championship match earlier on tonight. But Becky Lynch still the Women's World Champion thanks to the Vision. And certainly with Becky Lynch being the World Champion and the Vision by her side, I'm not really too sure who's going to be able to knock her off. Obviously, Jade Cargill, she has the Money in the Bank briefcase, but if she attempts to cash in, the Vision is going to be right there. So if Jade Cargill thinks about cashing in anytime, anywhere, she's got to do it when the Vision is preoccupied. Last night, the Vision took out on Monday Night Raw, the Vision took out Mark Henry. And so certainly, obviously, Vision set their sights on that World Heavyweight Championship that LA Knight currently holds, and we'll see where this goes coming out of Saturday night's main event. But just a continued replay here, that natural selection, I thought just maybe that might be enough. Let's check the shoulders. 2, just a little after 2 there. And then Becky Lynch, different variation of a Beck's bottom here. Bam! Just inflicting some more damage there to Charlotte Flair. Shoulders were down. 2 and 3. Big win for the still Women's World Champion, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in this year. Thank you guys so much, and we will see you in WWE 2K26.